house on the mic with Mike. He's here talking about all the great things, the power of education. When he walks in the room, this is what's played. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. Mike Kinvis, ESPN. All right, so okay, come on, so Doc, let's talk about deliberate leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership, good leadership qualities are not by chance.
They're not.
They're not. We may not know what good leadership is, but we know what bad leadership is. we do. Okay, let's. And I grew up. I was in the Army for a long time.
Sure.
Leadership is just put on you. The rank, it gives you that authority, but that doesn't make great leaders. Great leaders get people to follow them. Let's talk about your book, Deliberate Leadership.
Absolutely. So great leaders, and to your point, no one points on good things that leaders do. They point on bad things that bad leaders do. But the top characteristic that I learned in my short career, and it's tough to say I'm 42 now, so I've had a little bit of life experience.
You got a little bit.
It's humility. That's what it boils down to, and that's where 45 is having his issues. There's no sense of humility there. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a leader, you are serving someone else. It's not about you. And at the end of the day, if you're really an authentic leader, you're thinking about legacy, and you're not gonna be here long. Like, we're not gonna be here long. Is what do we leave with our kids, with people who work with us, who we've impacted? And that was the whole purpose of the planner. It's like, we have to plan our lives, or it's gonna plan itself for us, and we're not gonna win that. It's going to happen in our head regardless. So how do we take this process that happens in our head and we put it down on paper? I know that I'm one of the best technological people I think of, but I can't write down. I can only write down things I really want to remember and do. And so, taking it back to just this, it was saying, look, we got 90 days to do this work, but we're going to start with ourselves. 30 days on how do I make sure myself is focused, I'm organized. I'm doing this project now with about 4 clients where we're decluttering our lives. And I tell people all the time, you got people in your phone you don't talk to anymore. You don't know who they are.
A bunch of them.
Look, and you're not going to pick the phone. If you call
at gunpoint, I would like,
who are you, right? And we got no's all in our phone. So there's a decluttering that needs to happen in our life, and it starts with our phone. It starts with our homes. We hoard a lot of stuff. You can't make room for new stuff and for blessings if you have old stuff in the closet. And so we are literally going through it over the next 5 days. We're throwing out stuff. And once a year, I do my contacts anyway, because at the end of the day, if you got a lot of stuff that you're looking past, you're never going to make room for what you need to make room for.
How hard is it for people to get rid of those things? Like, I may need that Bob right there that I don't remember who Bob is. Bob, okay. How hard is it to make people say, Mike, you need to just go ahead and take Bob out of there?
Well, part of it is having an accountability partner. We were not meant to be single on this planet. Even though some of us think we are, we're not. We're meant to be connected. This is the whole point of worship service. So when you're connected to someone, you have an accountability partner. Your accountability partner should be working with you just as you're working with them. And so if you have not talked to Bob in 5 years, more than likely, you're not going to talk to Bob.
No.
Right? And with social media, you can find Bob if you need to find Bob. Right? And so why does Bob hold space in your phone? So why does Bob hold space in your life? So I actually go old school. Print out all your contacts. You got green, yellow, red. And if I'm not talking to you, it's red. That's delete. And if I have these ones, I'm not quite sure. That's a yellow. Let's put it to the side. We don't need to spend time on it right now. Put it to the side. And then those green ones, hey, let's solidify those relationships. Let's see where we can connect again, where we can partner. There's enough bread for everybody to eat. And so at the end of the day, the selfless nature that comes with humility and leadership, that really was what drove this book. Start with yourself, take 30 days to plan what you're trying to do, and then you jump into it. There's so many times I work with people, they're working on plans that they've never even written. They've never even thought about, and they're wondering why things are not really happening for them, or it's happening by happenstance. That's not life. You need to plan for it. When you plan, that's when things happen.
When you were out there and you put the book out, you started doing that. When did the light bulb come on saying you got something? I got something here.
When I had the third person tell me they were doing it again, and I'm like, what are you talking about? So and we're saying it earlier, there are planners out there that are full years, and I'm not saying it gets boring, but you got to be disciplined.
A year's a long time.
It is a long time.
And we're Americans. We're not used to just that long-term thing. We kind of like pop. Let's get to it.
So when we think about that, though, we get discouraged when it is a year, because if we mess up, we think we've screwed it. And so I looked at this as, let's go quarter by quarter. And so if I have 4 goals throughout the year, how do I have 4 ways in which I look at this? I can have 1 goal and break it down 4 separate ways. The fewer is the better. And a part of it comes with just retraining your mind. And an element of retraining your mind is thinking about how do you spend the first 15 minutes of your day. Most of us spend the first 15 minutes of our day by picking up our phone. We go on some type of social media. We find out what's sexy and who's done what. what 45 is done or said is crazy. Take the first 15 minutes for yourself. Take 30 for yourself. Because if you can't afford to pay yourself, why should you be afford to get money from anybody?